Order yours and cash in on this special now. Give Josh a call at 541-409-5650. That's 541-409-5650. And get farm fresh meat on your table your family's going to love.
Let's eat.
Jetstream Aqua Massage, located in the Heritage Mall, is your answer for the relaxation you've been looking for. Our massage beds will help you with stress, anxiety, increase circulation, muscle tension, improve sleep, pain reduction, decrease muscle spasms, increase your range of motion, and help with the everyday aches and pains of life. And at only $1 per minute, we'll save you time and money. 20 minutes in one of our machines is equal to 1 hour of traditional massage. We have gift certificates available for the perfect stocking stuffers. All TENS units are on sale now, and don't forget your BioFreeze. Jetstream Aqua Massage. It's not just a massage, it's an experience.
Now, back to the Jetstream Aqua Massage Studio for more Northwest Dirt News live on Spreaker Radio. See, I told you. It's just flowing. Everything's going. It's a busy night here in the studio.
Dude,
we've still got two more. Or we still got at least one more call in. And it's going to be a really cool deal because this is something when I heard about it, I had to support. You know, the concept behind it, the idea, it's one of those deals that you just can't say no to. And we're going to get that caller in here in just the next couple of minutes as we get things set up for our next segment. So what do you think about, what Mike had to say?
I want to move to California.
$10 million into that track?
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. With a racetrack, though, that's probably fairly easy to do.
Well, it's not going to be hard. I mean, you look at Willamette Speedway, and that's easily a pretty. In all honesty, Willamette Speedway, the facilities at Willamette are probably the best on the West Coast.
They're the nicest probably in the Western region.
They are. I mean, between the asphalt pit stalls, the NASCAR-style lighting that now Coos Bay is also going to have.
The fencing, the caution lights. I mean, it's a beautiful facility.
That fencing is strong.
It's been tested, and it's held up a couple times.
I mean, Jenner tried to clear it, and it did not work out so well.
A couple of guys have tried to get in there, and
I'll tell you what.
That fences, they've done a very good job putting that thing together. That's one thing about Willamette. It's a safe racetrack.
Absolutely.
It's wicked fast, and it's kind of become the standard of what
when you look
racetracks in our area are.
Listen to what Mike said. They're changing, some of the stuff at Santa Maria, they're addressing the safety issues. They're making it safer for our racers. But man, look at that Swears Trucking chat line.
The Swears Trucking chat line is going crazy tonight. And listen, I'm gonna answer that. There's probably 25 to 30 messages, the same question from multiple people asking, who's the manager at Willamette Speedway? Guys, we don't know. If I knew that, or if Joel knew it, or if Warren, if we could report who that was, we don't know. Now, we have talked with the ownership, and they're making their decision on that anytime. I mean, race season's right around the corner. I'm sure that they'll be making that decision. And we know that they have been talking with numerous possibly, possible managers. I don't know what their criteria is. I don't know what they're looking for, or how they're going to decide that. But
maybe one of these days we can get someone that can shed some light on where we're at with that on the air.
Well, we'll try to get a hold of Nikki, and I know Nikki doesn't like to do the air. She's kind of a
she's radio shy.
She is.
I don't.
But
blame
a lot
her
of
one
people
bit.
are. A lot of people are. But if worst comes to worst, we can just get it, from Nikki or Jerry, and we'll release that information, when they do, or when they say, hey, look, here's who we have, and this is what it's going to be. That's a big question with a lot of people. We don't know. We don't know. So when we know something, you guys will know something, and that'll probably happen at the same time. I don't know
exactly.
But it'll definitely be that'll be big news.
Absolutely, that's gonna rock the Western world.
Well, as far as dirt track racing goes, especially in our region, it's going to be that's a big decision. And when you're talking about the premier dirt track in the Western Seaboard, you don't just go hire anybody. You've got to have the right person. And I know that they've been talking with numerous people. I don't know who those people are. I haven't heard a single name, and I probably don't want to know. I just, I want to know who it's going to be when they make that decision.
Exactly, and that's the same thing as for me is with as tied in as I am with Moxie and our racing community. I flat out told people I don't want to know
right
until it is publicly releasable, I do not want to know who you're even talking to, because I don't want to be the guy that spoils it.
Well, and it's not that you're spoiling it, but what happens if something happens?
Exactly.
And it doesn't work out with that person because they take another job offer or anything. There's so many possibilities. You know how the racing world works. The thing is, you don't want to say, okay, this is what we heard, this is who it's going to be, and then something changes. I don't want that to happen, not with our show. We try to respect track owners, drivers, teams, sponsors, and it's one of my favorite things on the show is ending rumors, putting a squash to rumors, like this whole thing with Drake tonight.
Exactly.
It's not that, we just, so many questions coming our way that we can't answer. You put the guy in the air that has the answers, and you let him answer the questions. You let him tell him what's what.
Exactly. I mean, we want to get this out there. We want to talk about everything we can, but at the same time,
we want to give the straight shot, the real deal. 100% accurate, and you can't get any more 100% accurate. And if they're the ones saying, "Hey, this is what it is, and this is what we're doing," and then they don't do that, that's not on us. Exactly. That's on them. It wasn't us that said it, and people can't say, well, Moxie's full of crap, because they don't know what they're talking about. It's easiest to put those guys on the air.
Exactly. And I mean, and my eyes are brown, so I do get accused of that quite frequently. I mean, it happens.
So, again, guys, we wish we had an answer on who the track manager is. We do know that Chris Knopfziger has taken employment at a new job. Mm-hmm. Which he thought was probably best for himself and his family.
I mean, I couldn't blame him.
Well, you can't blame anybody for making a decision, regardless of whatever job they leave. If it's to make a better life for their family,
exactly.
You can't blame a guy for that. And Chris did one hell of a job at Willamette Speedway, and I don't think you'll find anybody that says otherwise. I mean, track prep especially,
nobody knows the clay like Chris.
Well, you look at, and we've talked about on the show in the past, you look at what we learned from him. He got the knowledge passed from Claire and Bill to him. That's pretty good. Whoever takes that position has got some big shoes to fill, and I feel sorry in a sense, because they're going to be critiqued. Anybody prepping a racetrack, whether it's really, really good or it's really, really bad, you're going to have people that like both. There's guys that like rough, heavy. I mean, when I was with David Hawks, if he could have that track heavy and rough every week, it would look like a motocross track.
Exactly.
You look at the guys that like those, like Bruce Hipple was a guy that you put him on the wet, sticky clay, it was rough, and he'd just drive right through it. Bob Boyd, another one of those guys that was just phenomenal on that type of racetrack.
Exactly.
Randy Boyd, another guy that's, when the track is heavy, I don't care what Randy is, what way he's driving, he's going to be fast. I mean, he's just one of those guys that excels on that type of,
Rob Campos.
Absolutely.
You look at that guy, he when it's a hooked up racetrack, he can push that loud pedal down and make that car do anything that he wants it to.
And Rob Maya.
He
is Rob Maya, as a race fan, as an announcer, watching that guy on the racetrack on a track like that, it's your heart is pounding, it's turning the same RPMs as his engine. You know what I mean? It's just because you're so excited to watch him. And you're thinking, how does he do that? I mean, it's controlled chaos.
Well, exactly. And look at Rob Maya from a fan's perspective. That guy is on the loud pedal faster than anybody else, and I swear that guy's got sparklers attached to his right rear quarter panel.
Something, because there's a lot of sparks coming out of that particular corner of the car.
I mean,
and there's a lot. We have so much talent in this region we're in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, there are guys that are just phenomenal race car drivers. But when you want to talk about the most exciting driver to watch as a race fan, you've got to put Rob Maya near or at the top of the list, because
I think the only way you can get more exciting than watching Rob Maya, a more exciting race event, is watching Rob Maya and Trevor Glasser.
Well, those guys,
for the last 5 laps of a race,
it's anybody's.
It's slide job after slide job after crossover after slide job.
Yeah, and just up until a couple of years ago when Russ Sell retired. Russ, one of those guys that, and over his 30-year career, Russ Sell was one of those guys you got to put in that category as, he earned the nickname Mr. Excitement. There was a reason for it, because Russ was one of those guys that fans were there to watch, because
Absolutely.
He just did things with a race car that made you say, what?
How do you do that?
Yeah, and we can go back decades and talk about those drivers, but,
And we got another one.
This is our third call. Oh, is that Chris Sign calling in.
Hello.
It is
Mr.
Chris.
Sign, how are you?
How you guys doing? I'm
Man,
doing good.
I'll tell you what, it's been a crazy night here in the Jetstream Aqua Massage studio. It's been caller after caller, and just, we're putting it out there. We're letting you guys talk, and we're letting you guys bring the news this episode.
Nice. Yeah, I was listening to Mike's conversation a little bit ago. Sounds like they got some really cool things happening down there.
There is some big change going on down there in California, and I think it's really going to create a good racing scene for those guys. Now, especially those track promoters starting to talk and work together, that's a great thing for any area. I mean, when you've got multiple tracks and track owners working together for a set of rules, that just makes it better for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, having that water park and stuff, that thing could be open 7 days a week, and then, that just, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Use the land that you got,
So, hey, let's talk about the Iron Giant. Let's talk about, you got any breaking news on that situation or anything you want to update us on?
Celeste up at Finish Line Graphics got our logo done.
We saw
I'm really
that.
stoked on that.
And we're going to put that up on the Iron Giant page and Moxie. And
excellent. She's sponsoring a big banner, which is going to say the feature winner of the night. It's going to be huge.
Very cool.
Giant logo on there with our main sponsors on there, which is going to be really cool.
Nice.
And she's going to make our checks for us. We're going to have a check for each race, so they'll be able to take home if they win the main event, they'll be able to take home a check, but it has the logo and stuff on there, so it'll be really neat to have that.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Just working on some things at my house and at the race shop and other things too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in behind the scenes right now that are happening. A lot of people, the general public, don't know, but between you and Moxie and some of the people that are real tight with your circle, that a lot of people are excited about this deal.
Yeah, everybody's excited.
Every day.
That I talked to that helped us last year.
Yeah,
they're on board in this year, and they want to help out more than they did last year.
Right, and new sponsors coming on because they see what you're doing and the potential. And every day, it's Joel and I are talking about what's going on because he's getting text messages, I'm getting text messages, or messages on Facebook. Is that Chris?
No.
Yeah, the page is blowing up.
Okay.
I've been actually having people private message me too. They've been reading what we've been putting up there, and
yeah.
There's
Sorry,
a lot of people
the other line is ringing, Chris. I apologize for that. We'll get to that caller here in just a second because it was scheduled for 7:30, but we'll get them in here in the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of big things happening.
You guys tonight.
Go again.
I got to be short with you guys tonight. I got the kids and stuff, so.
You got your hands full there?
Well, we've seen racing, and, he's not a slow kid.
Hey, when that kid gets in a race car.
Oh, dude. He's got Mark Howard's genes in him.
He's wide open when he's not in a car.
Exactly.
That kid is high energy. He keeps Chris skinny.
Yeah,
I love it.
He was helping me tonight on the Kubota. We were spreading a bunch of gravel in the driveway, and so, yeah, I let him grab the wheel, and he was hanging on, and he did it himself. So
wow, very cool. Man, the lines are just blowing up. We got no control over this. I apologize. All of a sudden,
I can't switch lines or anything. I'm like,
Sorry about that, Chris. But hey, bud, we're gonna put some stuff up on the Iron Giant page. We'll get it up on the Moxie page and some of the breaking news, and we'll help you promote this thing, and it's gonna be a fun deal.
Sounds great, you guys.
All right, bud. Thanks for calling in.
Accepting my call, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
Right. Thanks, Chris. Take care, buddy.
Take care of yourself.
Holy cow, dude. I haven't seen the phone lines blow up like this in a long time.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So our caller was scheduled for 7:30. That was just bad timing. It's been one of those nights from the start. But our next caller is really got a cool thing going on, and we're going to talk about that. I want to spend some time on it because, it's... There he is. All right, go ahead and answer
Can I accept this one?
Yeah, absolutely. That's who we're scheduled to have. So our next caller here on the Crocker's Cars call-in line on Northwest Dirt News is Mr. Steve Moore. Steve, how are you doing, sir?
How you guys doing tonight?
Man, it's just been it's been one thing after another. It's been crazy here in the studio.
Sorry about not picking up your other two calls, Steve. We we had someone on the other line, and we can't figure out how to work this technology.
It's been one of those nights where